can donate for a real experiment, just DM me and I will give you instructions. But
Okay, back to IB Hunter.
Okay.
IB Hunter.
Okay. So are you acknowledging that your bro here is the Messiah?
Back to IB Hunter.
Religion?
You said something. You have a gravimeter. I've never heard it. I've never used it. I've never even seen one before. So what is this? Oh, he's ran away, Jazza. Wow, dude, you've gatekeeped IB Hunter enough.
Oh, I'm right here. I'm right here.
Oh, he's here.
I've used him before.
Yeah, I've never seen.
There's different types. Okay, there's different types. There's actually the static ones, or the actual, and then there's ones that can be used on a ship. The static ones are used for reference points and to be able to do the reference measurements for the dynamic gravimeters. Static gravimeters are basically a tube that's brought down to a very low vacuum, and it drops a prism and there's a laser interferometer that measures the acceleration of that prism when it falls. That's the static one. But it measures the acceleration due to.
You don't have to explain it. It's all good.
He does have to explain it. You have to let him finish, man. Come on.
I know what he's talking about. That's why it doesn't explain it, but carry on.
He's not explaining it to you.
Okay. And then the dynamic ones actually uses accelerometers, and it's one of the ones I'm familiar with. It actually uses rotating accelerometers, and it can determine the direction and the intensity of the acceleration, even on a dynamically moving vessel like a ship. Okay. You use that in reference to the static ones, and then you can actually make a map of the differences in the acceleration of gravity in different areas to determine how dense the Earth's crust is below you. All companies order gravimetric surveys in conjunction with magnetic surveys and acoustic surveys to find different types of materials under the ground, like oil pockets, gas pockets, and different structures under the ground so that they could find petroleum. It's relatively common. It's been used in the Gulf of Mexico for quite a few years.
I will say there's a lot of information. There's good information, but probably was...
what we're looking for, I mean, I understood gravimeter with gravity, so it has nothing to do with gravity. I just misunderstood, yeah?
It's not what he says. So I'm saying it's probably too many details because
I just want to know what the link is with. Hold on, Koshi. I just want to know what the link is between gravity and his device.
The link is that there's a downward force caused by the density differences in the crust. Mm-hmm. You're measuring the amount of change in speed of a dropping object due to the density of the crust below it.
Yeah, so he's saying that the device usually has a spring in there, doesn't it? And it drops in the
No, it's no spring. It's just dropping it through.
You don't know what you're talking about. Let him explain.
Hold on, Kimo.
Well,
hold on.
Kimo, I'm in the Motadas way. Yeah, I've seen the ones with the springs, but I guess you're saying there's other ones.
Okay, yeah, there are some that have springs, but the one I was actually referring to was they use them as they're big immovable objects that once they're set up until the duration of the survey is over with. But it has a vacuum chamber, and it drops a prism down through that vacuum chamber. Okay. So there's no air to slow it down, and it's very consistent.
Okay, so you said there's a downward force.
In different areas.
There's a downward force, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How have you tested for this downward force?
How do you test for it?
Yeah.
You measure it. It's a measuring device. Like, how do you test how long a piece of board is? You actually measure it.
No, but you're saying you measure gravity, this force, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
You measure the change in acceleration due to the crust below it.
Not due to gravity, the force.
He's saying it does.
The force of gravity is different in different areas due to how dense the crust of the Earth is.
No. You can't presuppose this force without testing it in the first place.
You can measure it.
Oh my goodness.
And it works because that's the way they find oil. The fact that you have oil in your vehicle is a good indication that it actually works.
That's
the fact that we were able to do the surveys and make the maps is a good indication that it actually works.
So that would be due to density. Yes, how dense the ground is, and then they would know if there is. So it's nothing to do with any forces. Do you understand? Because gravity is not a force. Do you realize that? There were no experiments so far.
It can be measured. No, gravity can be measured as a force.
No, again, there was no pulling force that has been tested and experimented.
He's saying they have
it can be measured as a force. It's
for goodness. It's just like saying, oh, it's fairies doing it. We know fairies are doing it. But where are the fairies? Well, we're just measuring fairies. Well, what fairies? What are you talking about? You've got to be able to show there's gravity first and then say how much the measurements are. Not the other way around.
Okay, well, we're measuring a change in acceleration due to density. How about that?
Density, yes, fine. I accept that. Density causes this acceleration.
We're measuring the change in acceleration of an object towards the Earth due to the density of the Earth.
Yes, that's what we tell you.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't care. You could call it monkey farts. Okay, we're measuring monkey farts.
You got it right in the first place. Density is what you're measuring.
No, we're measuring the change in acceleration due to change.
You didn't do that. You didn't measure the force. You measured the density.
You're not listening.
I am listening.
We're measuring the change in the acceleration of an object due to the density of the ground below it.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Kimo, he's saying with the device itself.
Kosher, I know exactly what he's saying. He hasn't said anything about forces. He's talking about density.
I know.
So let him explain his device.
The density is what gives it different readings.
So you're under the assumption, IB, that the acceleration is due to gravity, but you've just realised it's due to density, yeah? There's no issue here.
That's why you don't want me to speak, Kimo.
Well, he said it. He used it. You haven't used it. You got it wrong.
It's the density of the ground below it.
Okay, fine.
The amount of mass. The amount of mass in the ground in the given area is what causes the acceleration to either be more or less due to the amount of mass below it.
That's obvious.
Which is basically, which is exactly what the Cavendish experiment is.
Well,
you're changing the amount of pull. Some of the Cavendish experiments, the variations that's been done is basically a lead ball hanging on a scale, and you put another lead weight underneath it. And you can change the amount that it pulls on the scale by putting the lead weight underneath it, because you put more mass underneath it. It's attracting it more.
Yes.
So you get more weight. Well, basically, that's the same thing that's happening with
You're
the
not telling us anything
You're changing the acceleration. The amount of acceleration towards the ground is higher whenever you have more density in the ground.
Again, we already know this, okay? What we're trying to find out if there is a we're trying to find out if there is a force behind this density, this acceleration. Now, you said Cavendish. Now, again, I like Cavendish. It's a good experiment. It's a good way of finding out if there is mass attracting mass. But unfortunately,
if there's a change in acceleration, therefore a force is required, or an apparent force is required.
Unfortunately, IB Hunter, unfortunately, don't have any experiments to date that shows mass attracting mass with all of the variables accounted for. So at the moment, Kosher, will you hold on? Stop saying right. So IB,
kept cutting out when I start speaking every time, so I was like,
yeah, but I'm asking IB something, and you're going
yeah, because stop.
The IB, right now, I understand Cavendish is what tells us that mass attracts mass, but there isn't any experiment to date that shows all the variables accounted for, yes? And right now, we have a globe earther who has invested in such an experiment. They've hired or bought they'll purchase a vacuum chamber, and they're going to show mass attracting mass within this, because the hypothesis is, IB Hunter, that if you put Cavendish inside of a vacuum chamber, there will be no attraction at all. Zero. Nothing.
Kimo,
But
that's
already been disproved. This has already been done many times.
You've got to let him respond to what's been said.
Again. And that's what I'm telling you. That's exactly what a gravimeter is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a vacuum chamber
Mm-hmm.
that's measuring the change in attraction between the Earth and that object that you're dropping.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted to tell you, Kimo, is that forget about the fact that it's changing the acceleration. The fact is that it's measuring the acceleration. So if something's accelerating in a vacuum,
We know all of this. We know all of this.
Towards the Earth, Kimo.
This is understood.
That means it's attracted to the Earth.
Understood. That's not what we're arguing right now. We get that part. We're explaining to IB, or I am at least explaining to IB here, that the hypothesis is that mass attracts mass. Okay, granted. But obviously we've got to experiment with this and manipulate our independent variable. Now, if I see and observe phenomena like Cavendish, my predicted cause would be the draft, the atmosphere, the pressure on the containers. Now, if you remove that pressure from the container, IB, there will be no attraction whatsoever.
Said this and cut me off from finishing what I was saying, which was exactly that's what this shows, Kimo. This is in a vacuum.
I'm explaining to IB that he has not seen. We know all of this.
Kimo, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so you have never heard of this device. You've never heard of a gravimetric survey, yet you're going to explain to me how they work? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, because you're invoking a force. Now, we know if mass attracts mass, we can experiment with our independent variable, which would be the mass, solely the mass, and that would be the cause. But right now, we have a cause for Cavendish moving. We already know why it moves. So that's why today, right now, in real time, we have a user called BioJewel. He's a globe earther, and he's bought a vacuum, and he's going to put Cavendish inside. And he's going to show that mass does not attract mass when he shows the results. So we're waiting for that. Unless, IB, you can show right now Cavendish in a vacuum. And you'll be correct and I will be incorrect.
Well, that's basically what I just told you. The gravimeter is Cavendish in a vacuum.
Show me. I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying, show me this observed phenomena in nature. Let's have a look.
Google gravimeter, and you could actually see how it works.
My friend,
they're all over the place.
My friend, we're looking for the observed. Eyes observe a phenomenon which happens in nature that is mass attracted mass. You understand? So you telling me, oh, read about it. Yeah, I've heard about it. Yeah, that's not going to help the observation part, which is why we have ballers today, right now, investing in Cavendish, investing in vacuum chambers, to show this phenomena in real time. Unless, like I said, you can show right now somebody's observation of mass attracting mass in a vacuum. Let's have a look.
I gotta show it real time.
Show it real time. Show me the observation. I want to see mass attracted mass. Show me.
I don't understand what you're trying to see.
Right, well, we want to see the observed...
Mass attracting mass, all you have to do is look at something fall, and you're looking at mass attracting mass. You can watch the moons of Jupiter orbit Jupiter, and you're looking at mass attracting mass.
I think you're looking for an argument. I'm not arguing with you. Okay.
No, I'm just saying
you dropped something.
You're asking for something that I don't know what you're asking for.
IB, you dropped something. You say, why did that happen? Let me guess. I predict the cause is gravity, a force. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Now, you can't just say my hypothesis is reality without testing it. You need to show what?
There's okay, look.
Go on.
Let me explain it a little different. Okay. You drop something and it's like, maybe it's gravity and it's caused by the density of the earth below you.
Yes.
It's attracting it to the ground.
I like it. It's a good thing. So go on.
So okay. And then you go and say, okay, what happens if I'm in another area where the density of the ground is not as dense?
Okay.
Let's do that experiment again. drop the object, and see if it falls at a different rate.
Sure.
If it falls at a different rate in an area that the ground is not as dense, then you can actually make an assumption that the ground is actually, the density of the ground is affecting at how fast that object falls.
Still agree. Okay, we're still in the hypothesis stage. No, not a problem. We still assume, we still think.
Millions of times. You do this millions of times over decades.
Billions, trillions.
And you can actually.
I agree with you. Everything you're saying right now, I agree.
Trillions of times. I'm talking about the actual gravimetric measurements. And you can actually map areas that have more dense areas of the ground.
As you've just said, I agree.
Areas, you could test these areas to find the density and determine that, yes, these areas that have the higher density are the areas that are attracting this thing to the ground faster than the areas that have less dense areas. That's the whole premise behind gravimetric surveys.
I get it. Again, no arguments here. We go all around the world 1 trillion times. We get this effect. Yeah? We have an effect all around the world. All around the globe. Everywhere you go, different density. You walk around the ball and you're saying, wow, we have this effect. Different effects, but we have this effect. Yes?
Yes.
Excellent. Now, we need to figure out the cause of this effect. Now, we've been around the world, been around the globe, been around the ball, and we've said, the effects everywhere is slightly different in different places, but there is the same effect. Now, what do I predict the cause to that? It seems to be
density different of the ground.
Yeah. So you're like, I go here, it's less dense, different rate. I go here, different dense, different rate. So that's got to be the mass. Yeah? Got to be the mass.
The mass of the ground.
Mass of the ground. Absolutely. So now we're going to scrap the hypothesis and we're going to move to experiment time. Yeah?
The experiment is actually taking the measurements and making the device in the first place.
Yeah, so now we're getting this effect. Yes, we have the same effect. Our device gives us the effect. Yeah?
Yeah, you're measuring the effect of the density of the ground affecting the changing of acceleration of an object.
That's what we suppose is happening, yeah?
Well, that's what we're measuring that's happening.
That's what we think. Yeah, we think that we go here, we get a different measurement, we go there, we get a different measurement. We're like, well, that's got to be the mass, yeah?
The thing is, we can measure the mass. We can.
I know. I'm not arguing with this. There's no argument. We measure the mass
you're
here.
Saying we're assuming this. We're actually measuring it.
Okay. Again, you're saying we measure this effect here. We measure this effect there. We measure the effect here. We measure the effect there. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So now we're going to look for the cause of this effect. Because we've just said it's mass. We think it's mass. Yes.
Okay.
Excellent. So now we're going to move to the next stage, which is experiment. Now we're done with the hypothesis, we've done the research, we've been all over the globe, and we get different effects, different measurements. We've measured it, measure. Yep, definite different effects. Definite must be the mass. Now we've got to experiment, yeah?
Okay, I think you got all of that backwards, but okay, let's go.
Well, we've got the measurement, we measure the effect.
The Cavendish has been the experiment, and then this is the actual measurement to confirm that the Cavendish was correct.
No, but you said we dropped something. Hold on, we started with dropping something, then you said we go to another place. If we drop something, we will get another measurement. Is that correct? Incorrect or correct?
That's actually just proving Cavendish.
Okay, but stop jumping the gun. You say you drop something, you measure an effect, you go somewhere else, you measure a different effect. You go all over the world, around the globe, and you get different effects. Yes?
Yes.
Right. So now we need to find out what caused this effect. As we've established, it's mass.
Okay.
That's what we think. So we're going to test this now. So what we do is we get Cavendish, and we get the two balls, two masses. We put them, together. Get the torsion bar. Get everything set up correctly. Change the masses. And then we try to rule out the cause to the observation that we see. So, is it magnetism? No, we can rule that out. Was that electricity? No, we can ground it, we can rule that out. Okay, so what about the pressure, the atmosphere inside? Or the draft? Yeah, we can rule that out. We can put it in a vacuum chamber. Ah, fantastic. So, do you agree with the premise so far?
Yeah, but I think you're backwards on it. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, we're trying to find out the cause to your effect. Yes?
Okay, well, the Cavendish came long before.
Why would the Cavendish come first?
Because it was done a long time ago.
But why did
long
they
before the gravimeters were done.
I know, but why did they do Cavendish?
They were trying to measure the mass of the Earth.
Okay. And what would it show, this Cavendish?
It showed the mass of the Earth, and pretty doggone close, actually.
It shows that there is an attraction between two masses.
No, it actually was designed to show the mass of the Earth. It was already established before that there was an attraction between masses.
Yeah, but to show the mass of the Earth, you would need to have that attraction, right?
Yes.
Right. So to show the cause of this attraction is the mass, yes?
The mass affected the amount of attraction.
Right. So
Not
the
the
cause of the acceleration that we saw in Cavendish was the mass.
The mass was attracting the other mass of your dropped object.
Yeah, so that's
more or less, depending on the density of the masses.
And that was the cause of it. Do you understand cause and effect? Cause and effect?
Okay, the density of the mass of the Earth was affecting the rate at which the objects fell. Yeah.
Yes, I'm not arguing that. I'm finding out the cause of the effect.
I'm agreeing with you. If the mass of the ground beneath the object determine how fast it falls, that's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what the device is designed to measure.
Yeah, because we're just looking at the effect. We see things being pulled towards the ground. It looks like that, right?
Yes.
So that's the effect. That's the observation. We observe that, and we're just trying to figure out how, what caused it. Was it magnetism?
You're trying to put a name to it?
No, but was it electricity? Was it magnetism? How do we know it's not that?
You could use different materials.
There you go. So now you understand. It's not electricity is not the cause because we used a different material to rule out electricity, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
You think that this hasn't been done?
That's what I'm saying to you. Now we know the cause. Yes? It's not electricity.
Yes, the cause is... Yeah. The cause is the density of the ground affecting how fast it falls.
We're not talking about how fast. We're just talking about the attraction itself. The effect. You understand the effect? So the effect is different around the globe, but the cause, there's only one cause that makes this happen.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to find out. You're saying it's the mass, yeah? Different masses make the attraction, yes?
Yes.
Excellent. Goodness me. So, have Cavendish to show that this attraction is caused by the mass. But at the moment, we have our cause. So if you saw Cavendish now, you saw it moving, we know what caused it. We would...
Sorry, hang on. Kimo, what was the purpose of the Cavendish experiment?
Find out the mass of the Earth.
Right.
But
right?
What we're looking at is the observed phenomenon.
So what does that have any point to do with what you're saying?
Well, I'm just explaining that we have an observed phenomenon. We see objects.
You don't need to explain it to people that understand it.
Well, we have two objects. We have an object moving to another object. Was that magic, electricity?
Yeah.
Was it magnetism, or was it mass? Now, I.B. Hunter says it's mass. He has the Cavendish to show that there is an attraction between two masses of different sizes. And I'm saying, was it electricity?
Yeah.
He said no.
Yeah, and that's observable.
And he knows it's not electricity because they've ruled it out. Was it magnetism? No. But did you rule out
gravity?
did you rule out the
it
atmosphere
works,
or
right?
the pressure in the container? And you said yes.
Yes,
It's been done in
because
a
it's
vacuum. It's been done in a vacuum chamber, right?
Yes.
So, finally, can you show this observation of mass-attracted mass in a vacuum?
So what I'm saying, look up gravimeters. They're all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at videos on them.
But I'm
how
not
they
doubting gravimeters. I know they will give this effect. I'm not doubting it. I am
Okay.
sure it will give this effect. What I'm looking for is the
Well,
cause.
a gravimeter is a vertical Cavendish experiment.
Well, again, we know the cause of this
You seem to be
effect.
asking for two things here, Kimo. You've gone through all of this, and the conclusion of it was you said, right, so all I need now is to see mass attracting mass, and then in a vacuum. And then when he gives you an example of that, then you go back to the beginning of the circle
And you start all over again.
Yeah.
Well, where's mass attracting mass in the vacuum? That's what I've been asking for. Where is it?
Well,
that is
the gravimeter.
The gravimeter.
Okay, so fine. Show me then. Show me the observation of mass attracting mass. That's all we're looking for.
Well, he's told you go and have a look at how a gravimeter works.
Go and have a look. Well, someone's posted
The
the picture.
prism.
Hold on. So we've got a picture here. And this is what I will find on the internet. So this picture here is your mass attracted mass.
Hold on. I'm not doing this.
Are you saying this picture of a computer is mass attracted mass?
Hold on. Let me what you see.
You're saying this is a vacuum, this computer, and this is mass attracted mass.
Well, I mean, really, Kimo.
What experiments have you done, Kimo?
Well, hold on. He said this is a
Vacuum.
vacuum, and he said this.
Well, no.
He
said
said,
this
he said to you to look how this thing. He said to
Let
look
me
how
look
this
up.
thing
What have you
works,
done?
right? And he gave you a brief description of what is going on mechanically inside that quote.
It's a computer.
It's not a
so-
computer. It's a tube.
So you need to make a greater inquiry than just looking at a picture of the outside of it. Clearly.
Are you looking at just the picture of the link that I posted about what a gravimeter actually is? Are you just looking at the picture and going, "Oh, it's a computer"?
Yes.
Yes.
That is literally what he's doing.
Well done. Your research levels are that of a 1-year-old. Can I put it in my mouth and chew it? That's about.
Well,
as
you
far as
provided
fucking
it.
Got.
You provided it. I'm only
Well,
showing.
actually, open the fucking link and read it then. You retard.
Oh, but it will tell me on words that mass attracts mass in a vacuum. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a YouTube video. Do you know there's more to life than fucking YouTube videos?
Well, again, we need to see the observed phenomenon of mass attracting mass.
You're just a fucking retard, aren't you?
Well, IB,
really
you
are.
lied to me. You said you have an observation of mass attracted mass in a vacuum. And all you showed was
I posted a picture of that.
a
earlier on
computer.
as well. No, earlier on I posted a picture of a Cavendish experiment inside a vacuum chamber.
A photograph.
It's been done.
A photograph.
Yeah, it's been. So photographs aren't allowed. It's got to be a YouTube video or nothing, has it?
It's got to be an observation of mass attracted mass.
Yes, that's what they did.
That's a computer.
No, it's not a computer.
Where's the vacuum?
Oh, for fuck's sake, Kimo, just fuck off, will you?
There you go, IB. Right? There was no. This is my point, IB. Until
You ask for evidence, we give you fucking evidence.
So right now, IB.
No, I don't.
Right now,
What
IB, we're in a
happens if
situation
if
where
you cover your eyes up and close your ears, you won't come across any evidence that challenges your belief.
No, I'm looking at it right now. I see a computer with buttons and a screen, but no.
You're not looking at it, are you? You're deliberately, specifically trying not to look at it.
Yeah, you haven't actually opened up the link and read the Wikipedia article. You're just looking at the fucking picture and going, "Oh, look, he's pressing buttons. There's a screen. Ergo, it's a computer."
But there's no observed phenomenon of mass attracting mass in a vacuum. That's the very
That's
point.
how they work.
That's the effect.
No, that's how they work.
You've sent me. Look, ladies, they've sent me a Wikipedia.
IB Hunter's just spent the last half hour telling you exactly how they fucking work.
Look at this, a Wikipedia
He's made the
link.
mistake of thinking you're a genuine person.
Yeah, you're in some weird loop here, Kimo. This infinite loop.
Well, we've got an honest baller in BioDuel who's going to conduct Cavendish the right way in a vacuum, and hopefully when he comes back with
been done,
no,
and
it
it
hasn't.
still demonstrates.
He's going to live stream it. He's going to live stream it. He's going to prove me
Kimo,
right.
I put it in the chat. Cavendish in a vacuum down to the weight of the ladybug.
What's the timestamp?
I told him.
Timestamp,
He
Litchwing.
doesn't care about it unless it's on video.
Go to this link.
I'm clicking it right now. I'm nervous. What's the timestamp?
Okay, guys, it's been fun, but I got to get to work.
IB.
3-0.
Nice one, IB.
3-0.
Look, next time you return, IB, just provide something practical of Cavendish in a vacuum. Otherwise, just don't assume.
Cavendish in a vacuum down to the weight
Don't
of a
assume
ladybug.
the cause, IB. Okay? Oh, he's gone now.
Oh yeah, that's quite good. That.
So yeah, I'm looking at your link now, Litchwink, and all I can see is
Litchwink, he won't accept this because this is a document.
I'm looking at it right now.
It's a paper, I know.
I am reading it.
Yeah, it's not a YouTube video. He is of the YouTube generation.
Oh my gosh, what is
It's not
this?
for the dummies.
We know, Kimo, when he's just posted this link, and within, 20 seconds, you said, I'm going to your link now, Litchwink, and all I can see... So already, at the first glance, you're already looking for something to reject it. And if you were making a genuine inquiry here, if this was, oh, wow, I've been after this for years, I've been asking for this, here it is, you would be, shit, I need to go away and look at this.
Not my claim.
You
We're
wouldn't
looking...
be, after 20 seconds, already have the tone of voice that you are able to...
Look, Jem, I'm ready to shut down the flat earth, right? I'm probably one of the only flatties that will work with the Cavendish. But if we get this attraction of mass attracting mass in a vacuum, do you know what that will do for you and the globe earthers?
It's already been done.
So you've just been presented with it.
Yes.
So why are you ignoring it?
No. That was a picture and no observation of mass attracting mass in a vacuum. Which they say they've been done time and time again. They say we've done it. We've got papers about it.
Again. It's got to be a video.
The only thing he will accept is a YouTube video. And
No, you don't have to be on YouTube.
That's not how the scientific community.
You don't have to be on YouTube. It can be on NASA's website. It can be on any. It can be on any website as long as we get the observation.
As long as it's a video, it's got to be.
As long as it's a video, it has to be a video for it.
It has to be an observation.
Scientific papers don't cut it for Kimo.
You're mad.
They're just people preaching their thoughts with no experiment to back it up.
And there you go. You have a religious person presuming that everybody else is of the same religious bent and work in exactly the same devious and lying way.
In any of your versions of the scientific method, where does it? Can you show me any version which demands that the experiment is conducted on video?
No, it needs to be an observed phenomenon. That's the first step.
Right, but that doesn't require video, does it?
I don't care how he does it. He's got to show the observation of mass attracting mass.
He has to see it. What do you mean you don't care how he does it? He has to see it.
We've got to see the observed phenomena in nature.
That's an observed phenomena, seeing it. That seeing is observing, right?
Again, the first step is observed phenomena.
Where's video in that? Where's video?
Again, I'm not arguing that. I said the first step is...
You absolutely are. Kimo, you are. You won't accept anything that isn't on video. So
I didn't say video. I said it has to be an observed phenomenon. And that we have to be able to see it. So, how are we going to... He has to...
Kimo, did you look...
You can see things falling. You've got your observed phenomena. What's the problem?
Yeah, okay, what's the cause of that observed phenomenon?
Well, that's what you then... Look, you can't say that... Do you know? You agree you've got the observed phenomena?
In nature, yes. Not in a vacuum.
So what's the problem?
We know the cause to that observed phenomenon.
Doesn't matter. We're not doing the cause, are we? All we're doing... Or you said the first step is the observed phenomena.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't need to know the cause because it's the first step.
Okay, fine. We got the cause effect. So what? What does that mean?
No, we've got the observed phenomena.
Okay, so what?
So where do you get the requirement for video?
You don't have to show it on video if you don't want to, but if you want to just say...
So why are you demanding everything is shown on video and you're not accepting when somebody shows you something that is not on video, you immediately reject it purely because it's not on video?
All right, where's the observed phenomena? You said in nature. Now, what's the cause? You don't know. That's fine. Leave it at that. We don't know the cause. We just see an effect. That's it.
Oh, wait, no. Your requirement was the observed phenomena. That's it.
Yeah.
I gave you the observed phenomena.
Yeah.
We can now go on to find out, to try and discover a cause for this observed phenomena.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean that because we don't currently know the cause, you can now reject the observed phenomena.
Yeah, it does, because we don't know what the cause is.
So how do you ever get an observed phenomena then? If it's the first step,
Yeah.
but it's the first step, the next step is finding out the cause, but you cannot have an observed phenomena unless you already know its cause.
No, you're saying you know the cause. That's the point. You're already saying we know the cause of this apple fall and its mass attract. That's gravity. That's gravity. Well, how do you know it's gravity? Well, you've done a test. Yeah, we've got Cavendish. Well, where's the observed phenomena in Cavendish? Nowhere, because we know the cause is the atmosphere, or magnetism, or electricity.
Wait, stop. No, completely wrong. The first step. What is the first step? Let's agree the first step. You tell me what you are saying is the
observed
first
phenomenon.
Step. Right. Dropping something, seeing something fall. Is the first step now fulfilled?
Yeah, you got observed phenomena, so
yes.
what?
Say yes.
I just said yes, so what?
Now fulfilled. Right, now we move on to the next step.
Which is what?
We don't now need to we don't get to the next step and say, right, so what's the observed phenomena? That was the first step. We have that.
But we don't know the cause.
Right. That's the next step.
So what is the cause then?
Mass attracting mass is the cause.
What?
That is what we're going to test for.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my god! This is the point. So if you're saying we have an experiment which proves the cause, but we can't see it, what are we talking about?
I didn't say any of that. Where did you get any
All right, so what is the cause then of this apple fall?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, let's start again.
Remotely similar to that.
What's the observed phenomenon things falling? Next step, what's the cause? How are you going to figure it out?
Through process of experimentation.
Well, go on then, I'm listening.
Well, what do you mean, go on then, I'm listening?
See, why are we even getting into this? Let them do this, Jim. Come on.
Why we're getting into this is, why do you have a requirement for video and where has it come from? That's why we're getting into it.
Because it's what we can
you're
observe.
trying to avoid that by doing this another second infinite loop of observed phenomena. And you've got to know the cause. The next step is to know the cause, but you can't have an observed phenomena unless you already know its cause. It's ridiculous.
All right, I'm going to say this is the last thing I'm going to say because I don't want to argue, okay? So you said we have an observed phenomenon. I agree.
Why do you require video? That's the question.
Because if someone is claiming...
To jump through your silly,
if someone is claiming they have the answer to what we both see, then we want to see it. If I say to you the answer of it falling is magical fairies, you're going to just say, okay, fine.
Just be honest then. You want to see it. So your requirement for any experiment is that it is also recorded on video because you want to see it.
That's your requirement too. It's the same as you.
Is that true or is that false?
Same as you, yeah, same requirement.
No, that's not the same as my requirement. Is that we're not talking about my requirement. It's not about me. We're talking about your requirement.
It's the same as mine, mine and everybody else. If I say God did it, you would say, well, show me God did it.
Mine and everybody else's. Not true.
If I say God was the cause of the apple falling, would you just accept it?
I would accept, for instance, this paper that Litchwink has presented that describes an experiment, shows the results in detail, is from a reputable source. I would accept that without there being a video.
There are no reputable sources. They're all fraud and corrupt. What's reputable? Show me
All
one.
you've got to do, Kimo, is admit that you do require things to be on video.
I just said it doesn't have to be on video.
That's what you're actually saying, but you're trying not to say it.
It doesn't have to be on video. He can invite me to where.
So what other form can you be presented with the observation?
He can fly me to where he is and say, "Have a look at this."
Right. So what you require then? Now we're getting to it. Thank you. I'm sorry, I did make a mistake there. Okay. So you have one of two requirements. Either it's on video or you personally witness it.
Yeah, he can bring the observation to me and show his evidence.
When did those two requirements get introduced to any version of any scientific method anywhere?
Any scientist with common sense is not going to just believe anything without an observation. Why on earth would they?
However, is that a requirement? Can you show me any scientific method which requires that everyone gets to personally witness the results of the experiment before they're valid, or that the experiment is recorded on video and that also can?
Yeah, that's how it's done, because Cavendish was recorded.
Show me any citation that shows that is.
No. I'm saying that Blue.
Part of a scientific method.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying Blue, as a baller, showed his results on video. He said it's not for flat earthers, it's for himself and his other ball earthers. Because if he tells people, I've done an experiment where mass attracts mass, the ballers will want to say, well, where can I see it? They're not just going to believe his paper. So he did it. But because he did it live.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Because he did it, we could see his mistakes, and we could see the errors, and we could say, well, we
putting
know what the
words
cause
in
of
my
that
mouth.
is. Can you put it in a vacuum?
No, wait. Yeah, hold on, Kimo, hold on. I did not show one single one of the tests that I used. Not one. I showed you a demonstration, but I never showed you a test.
Yeah, the demonstration. You showed
I'm not going to either.
You showed
I'm not going to either.
Oh. The point is, Jem, it doesn't matter how it's shown, as long as we can observe the phenomenon. That's what we're looking for.
Why are you pretending? You're on the one hand, you're pretending that you're sticking to a scientific method. And you're making people jump through these hoops of giving you their observed phenomena and their cause and all the other blah, blah, blah. If you're doing that, why are you also including in that the requirement of video? Because that is not part of a scientific. If you're doing a scientific method, do a scientific method. Use one of your bollocks QE versions of it if you like, but none of them include the requirement for things to be on video.
So let me give you an example. If I just wrote a paper and said Cavendish doesn't work in a vacuum, and then someone says, yes, it does, I write back, no, it doesn't. How does anyone validate anything by saying, yes, it does, no, it doesn't? Yes, it does, no, it doesn't.
You're the one making the claim,
and I might then demand that you show it to me on video.
There you go. Oh my God!
Wait a minute. This is the important part. However, I would not pretend that it's a requirement of a scientific method that it's on video, and I would not instantly reject something if it had been done to a decent methodology systematically. I wouldn't instantly reject it just because it wasn't on video. That's the difference between us.
I'm not arguing this, Jamie. I mean, again, it's the same as anybody else. If someone says that they've done something on paper, you're going to want to see it. Now, you can show it in any way you like. On video, you can present it to the person live.
You're so wrong about that.
Whatever you need to do. But if I write down it didn't work in a vacuum, and then you write down it did work, and someone else write down it didn't work, then what?
Kimo, there are tens of thousands of scientific papers written and published every fucking year. Not a one of them include a video. Not a one.
Okay.
There's not a problem with this, because if you don't believe it, then you repeat the experiment and show that the guy got it wrong.
Well,
that's how science is done, Kimo. What you're doing is you're just simply trying to slow down that freight train that's about to run right up your ass. That's all.
Yeah.
Look, the idea is that you've got to show the experiment in for entire.
No, I don't have to show you shit, Kimo.
No, you don't have to. You can do
I don't
whatever
have to
you
show
want,
you
but it doesn't mean you'll have anything valid or validated in this case. You'll just have your belief written down on a piece of paper.
Well, no. What I'll have is you and a majority of one when everybody else believes what I'm telling them.
Fine, you've got a following, you've got a cult. Whoopee for you. You've got a bunch of followers that believe your science. Great.
Back up your claim.
Well done.
Back up your claim, Kimo.
You've got a following. You just said I've got a bunch of people that believe
claim mass does not attract mass in a vacuum. That is your claim, and you are the one that needs to demonstrate
I've written
that.
a paper.
Show it to us.
I've written down here in Discord it doesn't work. There's my paper.
Well, it's not a cult if people can independently verify, which I have.
Well, which people have independently verified? The cult? The people in the cult have verified it? What about people outside the cult?
Have, including myself.
Why is it then people outside the cult get different results? People in the cult get the same results. People out the cult get different results. Explain that.
Qualitatively,
if you're in the cult, you'll get the results of mass attracting mass. If you're out the cult, you'll get no results. Now what? What do we do?
Show it to me.
Show it to you. It's been written down. It's been written down. It's been written down.
Can we have a citation on that, please, Kimo?
It's been written down.
It's not going to do it.
Exactly. You want to see something being done, not just talk about it.
Written word, a paper, something.
Just give me a citation.
Yeah, I could write it down here right now.
Just show us
written word.
Where are you getting
no.
Where are you getting your information from, Kimo? That the people outside this pretend cult that you've just made up don't get the same results. Where are you getting that from? Or have you just pulled it out your ass?
I'm perfectly happy to take photographs. That'll be fine. Show me the paper that shows me photographs that says these two masses sat next to each other in the Cavendish experiment and never attracted them to one another. Show me that. It can just be a still photograph. I don't care. Just make it from somebody legitimate. It's not a liar like you are.
Okay, you want words that are written down? There's my paper.
By a reputable source.
Yep, we're just as reputable as anybody else.
You are not reputable, Kimo.
Well, we are reputable.
No, you're not.
We've done Cavendish in the vacuum. We're not going to show you. We've done it.
I'm not saying you do a damn thing, Kimo.
We don't have to show you a picture, a video. Just take our word for it. Take our word for it. We've got it written down.
All you've ever done. I'm not taking your word for anything. Show me something you've done. Show me you doing anything other than
how am I supposed to show you? By video? What, do I have to bring you to where I am? Do you have to see it with your own eyes? How am I going to show you? Exactly.
Show me you doing anything scientific.
Show you? Why should I show you? It's been written down on a piece of paper. It's been written down.
Because I'm calling you a liar. I'm calling you a liar. That's why.
Well, it's there written down. It's up to you if you want to believe it or not. I've got followers all around the world that will believe it because I've written it down. So I don't care about what you think, right?
The world.
You've got your followers. I've got my followers. We've written something down. They're just going to believe without seeing a thing.
Well, you do that because you're religious.
Well, there's a real difference here. I've shown you my experiments.
So that's the point, guys. We need to see, for it to be science, we need to see the observed phenomenon in any which way you want to show it. And
a paper.
Once we have the cause to the effect, which hopefully, like I say, BioDual will be providing us an experiment of mass attracting mass in a vacuum. So exciting. And then obviously the flat earth will have problems. Well, at least I will. I'll be like, well, the flat
earth doesn't have problems already. Like the fact that it's just made up shit.
Right now there are no problems because there is no force. If there is a force, we have problems. If there's no force, there's no problems.
Well, of course, you've got no problems because what you're basically doing is closing your eyes, sticking your fingers in your ears and going la 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 la.
Now, we've been asking for this, or at least I have, for many years now, and it's never been produced. So I'm confident that BioDual will not go mass attracting mass in the vacuum.
3 people produced it today alone. Tonight, conversation.
I mean, Kimo, what you're sure of is pretty pointless anyway, because you told me that 3 months after my first COVID vaccination, I'd be dead.
Yeah, you're on the way. Your immune system is. Let's not get into that. Actually, no, that's medical.
No, but it shows you just how full of shit you are.
That's medical information that we're not allowed to, get into.
No, it's just showing how full of shit you are and how little your opinion actually matters on or anything.
No, like I say again, this is medical information that probably shouldn't be talking
I mean,
about.
you don't know what you don't know what a scientific paper is. You are a creature of YouTube, and if it's not a YouTube video, you refuse to accept it. And I'm sure if somebody somewhere actually did this in a YouTube video, you'd still go, nuh-uh.
No, I mean, again, once we have that observed phenomenon, we can start to look at the effects and the cause at the same time.
It is.
Right now we
your
have the
claim,
effects.
though, Kimo. Why do you refuse to support your claim? Why do you refuse to do this experiment and prove that it's not mass attracting?
Because if I did that, you would say...
You're refusing to do that.
But if I did that, you would say, well, you didn't do it right. That's why you guys need to see yourself.
Well, then do it right.
But then again, you would say you didn't do it right.
Showing you how to do it.
All you got to do is just put it in the Cavendish,
We've shown
put
you
it in a
exactly how to
vacuum.
do it. We've given you papers to show you how to do it in a vacuum. We've given all that stuff to you. Why do you refuse? You're the only one making the claim that it's the atmosphere causing it.
That's because I'm the only one who wisens
Nobody
up
else
to this.
believes that. It needs.
I had foresight to work with the globers.
I don't understand why you refuse to do it. I don't know why
some of the flat earthers were just
I know why he refused
oh
to
my
do
gosh.
it.
Some of the flat earthers work against...
We don't know why he refuses to do anything.
Some of the flat earthers work against globers, and they deny your scientific experiments. Whereas I had the foresight to think, well, hold on, they've got an experiment, they say, but are the variables all accounted for? And then I was like, well, hold on, if this is true, it should work in a vacuum. Then I was like, okay, where is it a vacuum? And then no one ever showed it. And I was like, whoa, I'm onto something huge, onto something big.
No, it's
because I could show here to the ballers themselves that, not to the flat earthers, they already know it's not a force, but to the ballers, you think it's a force. So I was like, I could show you guys, yourselves, that mass does not attract mass. Now, Joel, once he does this, he's going to be like, well, there was no attraction. What do I do? Where do I go from here? And he will have to admit that the Earth is flat and stationary because there is no mass attracting mass.
I don't know if Bow's going to do it or not, Kimo.
He better do it.
I'll do it. I'll do it, but there's going to be a
He better do it because he made promises last year that, look at me, I'm the big...
No, Kimo, I'm about to make you a deal.
I'll predict he'll do it. He'll do it because he's supposedly a man of science, so he'll do it just for his own scientific interest.
You guys put up 25,000. I'll put up 25,000.
Why?
It's going to be winner take all
for money.
Why would you do that?
Science.
There
talked to Blue. I've got this. It's very easy. This is going to be very easy because biofuels are man of science.
Great, you can't just talk over people.
I'm not talking. I'm trying to add in what the problem is.
Yeah, let him speak, Coach. He's open. I've been rambling, and I was.
That's fine, Kimo. Someone is talking now. Doesn't mean that somebody can talk over him.
Yeah, but there's no need to put money. Don't muddy the issue with financial gain. Just the game should be about science, logic, and reason. That's it.
Crit, you're not part of the conversation. Shut up.
Yes, I am. I'm right here.
You don't even know what the money's for, Crit. Shut the fuck up.
There's no need for the money.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
There's a cost to doing this, and I'm not going to do it out of my pocket.
All I know is everything is about to change.
I know it's ridiculous.
The whole flat
I know
Earth,
it doesn't need to be done.
Everything is about to change once.
All I want is to be all I want to be is reimbursed when I win. That's all.
Well, I mean, again, you'll win more than money, Blue. You will have respect.
No. I want to not go out of pocket to do this.
Well, again, this is for you.
Now, put up
I don't know
money.
why you think this is for me. This is for you.
Put up enough money that I can do this in a vacuum.
Blue,
The way you want it done, and I'll do it.
I'm not discussing money. No, this is for science.
And if I fail, you don't owe me a fucking penny. How's that? I mean, what could be more fair?
No, Blue, that's nonsense.
What are you afraid of?
We've got.
No, it isn't nonsense. What are you afraid of, Kimo? That's a legitimate offer.
For 5 years.
No, because we've already got Bio on the case. He's already made promises that he's going to keep. And we're relying on him to present the first ever observation of mass attracted mass. That's what we're looking for, Blue. Not this nonsense of I'll put this. I mean, do people really look at Cypher owes me £1,000? Has he paid? Where is he? He's gone. Hasn't returned since. So let's not talk money. Money's a bit of a sore point around these parts because people do not pay up, Blue. Okay. So
no. We'll put the money in escrow, Kimo. I'll put my 25,000 in escrow. You guys put yours in escrow, and it can be with an attorney. I don't care where the attorney is. It can be your attorney for that matter.
Yeah. Well, again, we've already got people on the case. We don't need to.
That's a legitimate offer, Kimo.
We don't need that, Blue.
What are you afraid of?
It's not necessary.
What are you afraid of?
Well, it's not necessary.
It's necessary.
It's been
There's
done
a cost
before.
to doing this.
It's been done before. You said.
There's a cost associated with this. Yeah,
Blue,
and
it's
we've
been
shown
done
it to
before.
you.
It can be
We've
done
shown
again.
you a half a dozen papers. I've
Oh
shown
my
it to you
gosh.
with the National Bureau of Standards twice. Once in 1930
Too
and once
excited.
in 1942.
Too
We've been
excited.
doing that in a vacuum for a long time.
I'm glad to hear
Kimo.
it.
Almost 90 years ago.
I'm glad
the
to
first
hear
time
it.
was-
But what we don't
More than
have,
90 years ago.
what we don't have, Blue, is an observation of said thing.
Yeah, we do. We've got paper that reports the observation, Kimo.
Oh my God! Did he say paper?
Yes, the paper.
course he
That's
said
how
paper.
science.
Timestamp.
That's how-
Timestamp. Give me the timestamp. I went-
Believe,
Oh, good
trust me,
grief.
trust me,
The
Kimo.
video makes a difference if you
I don't know what you do for a
any
living. I don't know if you stock shelves at Walmart or what the fuck ever. Scientists don't look for videos.
No, it looks.
Read
It looks for.
papers.
It looks
We
for.
report our
I
results.
can't even talk.
And if you don't believe it, you can repeat the experiment. That's the entire idea. Enough information is provided in any scientific paper that any other scientist can do the exact same experiment to verify those
You're
results.
bullying now, Blue. You're not letting anyone else speak.
Kimo's job usually.
You mean kind of like you do. I'm sorry.
Of course, I've just listened to
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
you
yeah.
said,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
yes, we agree. It's been done over the years, but no one has observed it for anyone else to observe this phenomena as well.
How do you think they wrote the paper if nobody observed it?
So the paper was written to support the notion that the Earth is a globe.
No, it wasn't. The paper was written because they observed a phenomena during an experiment.
And if that were true, you'd be throwing these experiments in my face, egg all over the face, egg all over the body,
We do.
everywhere, slipping over because of egg.
We do. You just don't look at them. You don't read them. You don't look at them. You don't do anything.
What's that
You
background?
immediately go to,
Whoa,
that's
whoa,
not
whoa,
a video.
whoa,
you're
whoa,
throwing-
whoa! What's that noise? That background noise. What's going on? Ah. So yeah, I mean, look.
Yeah, Kimo, if you've got a sore point on your parts, I can suggest a cream that could fix it.
I don't see why you're arguing with me. I'm your number one supporter in this. Okay, there's no other flat earther that is remotely interested in such an experiment. They're going to give you problems. But let me tell you, if we get that force, that magical gravitational, pulling force, flat Earth, I don't see where it can go from here. That's why we need to see a valid, verifiable experiment of mass attracting mass with all the variables accounted for. Okay? And hopefully, like I said, BioJule said last year, I know it was December, but last year he promised to provide such an experiment. We're still waiting. Hopefully, he's doing it right now. Got it, setting it all up, getting ready to present and basically shut me up. Right? I'm sure that's what you all want. You all want to shut me up and be like, hey, you are the moron we said you were. It's not going to happen, guys, unless we get that mass attracting mass. So I'm on your side, okay? So.
No, you're not, Kimo. Stop it.
Okay. Science, guys, we love.
What are
science.
these? Wait a minute. You said something very important in all of that mishmash. You said all of the variables accounted for. What are all the variables, Kimo? List them.
Well, I would predict that magnetism was the cause, ruled out. I would predict electricity is the cause, ruled out. I would say maybe atmosphere, the pressure around it is the cause. We've ruled that out because we're going to put it in a vacuum. Any more than that, unless it's a magical force, I can't think what the cause would be, other than the mass you say it is, right?
No, I just want to know the list of.
It's not a long list.
You're not going to come
but
back
this is
later.
it, though.
On,
This is the beauty.
later on and start adding more.
Blue, this is the beauty.
restraint
No.
to this.
Let me explain.
That's what you do.
No,
that's what
this,
you guys
look,
do.
Blue. This
And the fact is, the reason that you accuse people of lying about it is because you're willing to lie.
No, this is the
and
beauty.
you assume everybody else is the same kind of scumbag you are.
So look, this is the beauty of this. The list has to be real. Real things that you can predict cause. So when these guys say, oh, it could be this, it could be that. Well, what could be this? What could be that? Can you put it on the list of what good... That's a very good point, Blue, what you've just said. Next time any border says, like when Just comes and says, oh, did you account for this? Did you account for that? Blue, we're going to get that list of what it could be. Tick them off. Magnetism, not. Electricity, not.
Can we quote you on this right now so that every time you guys say the same exact thing, we can go, wait, stop the list. Make sure. It could be this, it could be that. Every freaking time.
That's a great idea, Blue. Now you understand why we can't mess around with this scientific method, because you can't just make up variables and say, well, it could be something that you haven't accounted for. Or put it on the list.
I'm talking about you.
No, Blue just sounds on something very profound here. I like that. I like
you,
No, you're right.
Put out
You just made it make sense, Blue. Put it on a list.
You feel like have to be accounted for. Publish that list.
No, you're right. I didn't think of it that way. But a list, I'm going to say it to Drust next time. Put it on the list, what you think is a variable, is a cause, and then we'll test them. And he'll say something like, well, it could be something we don't know of yet. Well, then it can't go on the list. And if you don't know what it is, you want to make something up. That's why this is a brilliant test, because we can't make things up. It's either electricity, ruled out. It's either magnetism, ruled out. Is it the pressure of the atmosphere or the air? We're going to rule that out by putting it in a vacuum where there is no pressure, yes? And we're only going to see the effect and the cause in action. And that's why it's a wonderful
What level of vacuum? What level of vacuum does it have to be in, Kimo?
Oh, we got a super chat. We're always bringing in the big box, Gem. This is what we do.
Don't change the subject. Tell me, what level vacuum are we talking about? Specify it to me in microns, please.
Sorry, say again. I was reading the super chat. Sorry.
What level of vacuum are you requiring? Specify that in microns, or any unit of measure you want to use.
Yeah, I mean, I think as we can get it down, get it down so the pressure is at a minimum 0. Where the thing is 0.
Okay, perfect. You just created an impossible test. Thank you very much, Kimo.
Well, the gauge will say 0, right?
You're a deceitful, lying son of a bitch.
No, Blue, you're not understanding. So
you got to get it down to 0. Give me a fucking break. That doesn't exist anywhere in the universe, and you know it, Kimo.
Well, we have the gauges that go to 0, yeah? No, let's get into the super chats.
Plain a word, you.
And the super chat is from Kit for $20 US. Oh, well done there. $20 US. So it says, great show, Kimo. Shout out to Blue Marble Science, one of the best debunking channels on YouTube. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much for that there, Kit. Thank you very much. So yeah, I mean, again, because we focus on the most important things, people are paying attention, they're listening, they're realizing that they want science done in the right way. And fortunately, we are the guys who will give you the method to give you knowledge in the right way. And cut out the poetry, as it were. The poetry. You know, like, I think it's this, I believe. Like IB earlier on. He was like, okay, so I've got my device, and I go here, and I get a different acceleration. So that must be the mass. I go here, here. He got a different effect. I mean, what's wrong with this guy? We got a different effect. Okay, what caused this effect? And he's like, well, it's the mass. I'm like, well, okay, that's part of the hypothesis. That's what you think. Let's go and test it. And you know, obviously, when we break it down like that, people realize, yeah, we've got to control the variables and make sure that the cause is the cause to the effect that we say it is. And like I said, I've supported this Cavendish for the longest time. It seems the more we support, or the more I support, the more you shy away from it.
No.
See?
No, we're not shying away
I don't understand that. It's very peculiar.
We just proved that you're not being, you're not asking for a legitimate test. You are just playing a game. You just proved that yourself by requiring the pressure to be 0.
No, it's not going to be absolute zero, right? But it's going to be no pressure. There's
zero,
going to be no
I
gas.
asked you for,
There's going to be no
for a
gas.
specific number, and you gave me 0, Kimo.
Well, there's going to be
I
no
asked you for a
pressure,
specific
Blue.
number.
Pressure. We're going to remove the pressure. Yes. So if you're
I
gonna
asked you for a number,
well,
and
I mean,
you gave me 0, and that's impossible, Kimo.
well, Bio did go through the requirements, and he's happy with the numbers that were put forward. Now,
Well, then he got hoodwinked by you, if that's the case.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't
that
0.
way.
He didn't say
Then-
0. It was like 10 to the minus. I can't remember what he said precisely, but we agreed on the numbers.
Don't you think that's a little important, Kimo?
That's why we've been through the
You
numbers. Yeah,
consider
he's
that
doing it.
a little bit important.
He already asked that,
but
Blue.
you don't
We've
remember
already
what
gave
that,
him the numbers.
You don't remember what that.
Yeah, he's not been around for a while. Where is he these days?
What did you agree to, Kimo?
I can't quite remember the number we agreed to, but we were satisfied.
Where is it recorded?
It's going to be on one of the shows, yeah, for sure. And when he comes back, we'll get the number from him that we agreed on.
What do you mean it's going to be on one of the shows?
On Are You Smarter Than the Flat Earther?
So you have it recorded. You have this information.
Probably somewhere, yeah.
Well, how can you be so confident it's going to be on a show if you probably somewhere have it?
I'm not so sure. I'm saying it's probably, I'm sure I recorded it, probably, maybe. I'll have to triple check.
So you have no idea, really. That's what it amounts to.
Well, we'll have to wait for Bio to return, and then obviously we can confirm. Not that big of a deal, but
or
it wasn't
you're just
0.
having and hawing, playing around, not being forthcoming.
What we need is BioDual to return sharply, promptly, and then we can discuss full details of what he's been doing all this time.
How about you just put another number out there, like 10 to the minus 6?
He said something like this, 10 to the minus, I don't know if he said 4 or 6 or something like this.
Well, why did you tell Blue 0?
Blue's messing around, being silly.
No.
Yes. So this has been discussed. Blue's off, not Blue, sorry. Bio's off, conducting, preparing, doing all the necessary things, accounting for all the necessary variables, which he should be doing, which is the correct way to go about science. And we've accepted the vacuum that should be enough, so there's no pressure, that will cause the movement of the objects. So, but my hypothesis is no movement because we've removed the cause, obviously, which is the air, the atmosphere, the pressure inside. Then
No one gives a fuck what your hypothesis is. You're not willing to do any testing.
I'm not doing it. No
You suck.
chance. No way. It's not my claim.
I'll be back later to check and see if there's a conversation worth having.
I thought you said chicken soup then.
Preferably without Kimo.
I thought you said chicken soup. Chicken soup. Chicken soup. Okay. So yeah, I'm excited, as you can tell, because if we get this force, it's pretty much over for Flat Earth. I mean, you guys think it's dead already. This will probably send it into,
It never was alive.
But right now, Flat Earthers are in a super fantastic position because you don't have that force. As long as you don't have that force, we remain in the driving seat. You need a force to hold things onto the board, obviously. You need a force for the tides, for the moon and the tides. You need that gravitational force, yes?
I already have it.
Exactly. That's what I'm hearing. You already have it. I like that. So if you think you've got it, is that the fact is you know you need it. Okay? Your whole world will fall apart without this force, yes?
Thankfully, reality doesn't care about Kimo.
Well, we'll find out soon.
No, it really doesn't care what you think and what shit you spout, Kimo. Gravity is a thing.
Yep.
And there you go.
We want to hope so. We want to hope so because
no, there's no hope involved. I mean, we know you're just trying to cling on to some weird fantasy that you have.
No,
fuck knows why. I've figured out why grown adults act like this, but there you go.
Look, you guys are on borrowed time. I mean, once this experiment is done or not done, either way, well, there will be a winner and a loser. Yeah, if he doesn't do it, you guys are stuffed. If he comes back, never comes back, where are you going to go from here? If he comes back and says, okay, it was... So it kind of goes either way a little bit. But I think he's not going to come back. I think he's not going to produce it. And I think we're going to have the victory of no force for a long time to come. For sure.
Really?
You watch. Well, it's been months already.
Like I said, reality doesn't care what shit you make up, because we know why things fall down, why things are held to the surface of the earth, why things can achieve orbit. We understand all of this. And if you want to pretend that that's wrong, then I like to say, I can't understand why grown adults want to live in this bizarre fantasy land. But
just wait, right, until we tell the little ones. Did you know they haven't got Cavendish in a vacuum? And
do not bring fucking children into this. Do you know, this is one of the main reasons why we tried to
get
fight
your act
off
together
this flat earth delusion. Because we don't want you fuckers teaching this to children. That's
get
why
your act together.
In England we don't teach religion, because that's bollocks too.
I just said, imagine if we tell the little ones, hey, they say they've got mass attractive mass.
No, don't bring children into this.
All right, let's say
Don't bring
the
children
next.
into this, Kimo.
All right, the next generation we can say that can just be.
No, I told you, don't bring children into
that
this.
can be anything. The next generation, not children, right? Just the next generation.
Oh, fuck off. No.
So
we're talking Star Trek. Okay, if we're talking Star Trek, I'm happy with that.
There you go. Yeah. So if we tell the next generation, hey, did you know there's a bunch of people who believe there's a force, but you've never seen this? They're going to be curious and like, well, I want to see this. Where is it? Just like what we're saying.
They'll laugh at you.
What?
They'll laugh at you.
You're not getting. This is what you're not getting.
There was these people that were crazy, thinking these crazy things, and
Let me ask you a question, Kimo.
Well, I haven't got long, but yeah, go on.
Does gravity have to do with the shape of the Earth, Kimo?
Gravity is required for pulling the materials together to form the globe. Mass attracting mass. Gravity is required for the tides, the moon, the tides. Gravity is required for things not falling off, the gas not shooting off into space. Gravity is so much is necessary.
So you need it for the flat Earth or the globe Earth, is what you're saying. So why does it matter?
On a flat Earth, if there was a flood, everything would rise up. There would be no up or down. You understand? Nothing would be pulled.
Oh, that makes no sense.
Like, yeah, if it flooded right into the top, what do you think would happen? Exactly. There would be no pulling of anything to anywhere.
What?
You would go to the sides. You would go wherever the current is going, right?
Flooded to the top of what? What the hell are you on about?
Just like inside where we live.
What?
So just like if the water getting higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, you know.
Inside what, Kimo?
Well, we know that the clouds go up to 50 miles. If that started to rain continuously all the way up.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't go up to 50
They're called noctilucent.
Or just tiny little ice particles. They form at 80 kilometers up in the air. There are almost none of them up there, and the only time you see them is just after sunset or just before sunrise.
Yeah, they're always up there though, just because you can't see them.
The actual clouds that you can see in the daylight, Kimo.
Anyway, that's just an idea. Just an idea. Don't take it so seriously. I'm just saying that you're saying everything goes down, and that's not true. There is no bias downwards because the gases.
Of course there is.
That's what we're trying to figure out, Blue, with this Cavendish experiment. Again, if you get this Cavendish, you've got your downward bias.
What Cavendish did, Kimo. Cavendish was not about figuring it out. It was already figured out. Cavendish was about determining the density of the Earth. The way I'm doing it, it's about determining the universal gravitational constant. That's what it's about. It doesn't have anything to do with proving or disproving gravity. We know gravity exists.
But you can only know something through scientific experimentation. Exactly. That's what we're talking about. So if you can do science, You will have knowledge.
We've done it, Kimo. It's God.
Look, I know this is a hard pill. I know this is hard to get your head.
Not hard.
No.
You know, I know this is a struggle. I get it.
Doesn't understand it.
No, we know what you're up to, Kimo. You're just throwing up roadblocks. You're doing everything you can to slow down that freight train that's about to fuck you in the ass.
Well, look, a lot of flat earthers will not accept this. Full stop. Full stop. They'll be like, well, this is man-made. You know, you're the cause. You know, but I'm sure I can challenge all of that if we get the force. You know what I'm like. You know, we can maneuver around all kinds of things, and if we get that force,
no, you can't.
The Earth becomes a globe again.
This is a religious thing for you guys.
Space, we'll all be all on board.
This is nothing but your religion. God, you think, told you the Earth
My
is flat.
religion
That's what it's
is
about. It doesn't have anything to do with
nothing
science.
to do with this.
That's the disingenuous part about it.
Oh.
The disingenuous part of people like you and like Rakia and like Nathan Oakley. In fact, I think Nathan's the other way. He's just a liar, period.
No, Nathan's
Cant and vanity, Kimo, and defending the indefensible. That's
Nathan's
all you do.
like myself. We ask questions. So every day he asks questions. And obviously, if you tell, the only difference is if you lied to Nathan and you lied to me, it's going to be a little bit different. So I'll understand why you're lying. Like, why would you lie? Whereas Nathan would be like, I'm not putting up with those lies. You know, I want to put my salty, you know how it goes and stuff. So the idea is that's the only difference. But all we do is ask questions. We ask questions about your model, about your science, you know, your mathematics, and all these things. And just
No,
say,
you don't, Kimo. All you do is cant and vanity and defending the indefensible. That's all you do, Kimo.
No, again, all we do is look for the evidence to support that we're on what they say we're on, right? And if we can find that, then, like I say, flat Earth is no more. But it seems to be growing, and I put that down to the community, the things that we do, the arguments that we put forward. That could be the only reason why it grows, because they're listening to the questions being asked by us, and they're listening to the responses that are given by you. And they're like, well, hold on a second. If Kimo's asking for Cavendish in a vacuum, why? Like, if I was listening, this is what I mean. If I was on the outside listening to Kimo ask a Glober for Cavendish in a vacuum, and then I heard the Glober say, well, we've got it on paper, or we've done it years ago, or we're about to do it, and I'm the listener, I'd be like, well, what are they doing? These are like stupid flat earthers. Why don't the globe earthers just throw the Cavendish in a vacuum in their face? What's going on? So that's how it grows, because the audience are like, what's going on? Like, literally, they think in their mind, what is going on? Like, what are you doing? Why aren't you showing the flat earthers that they are what we think they're supposed to be, right? It never happens. And that's why I support the Cavendish, because I know inside a vacuum there is no attraction whatsoever. And
all you do, Kimo, is cant and vanity and defending the indefensible.
Look, again, we just need science to support the claim, you know, that mass does what you say it does. It's almost like you don't want to shut the flat earth down, because you obviously enjoy what it brings. You know, it gives you a certain feeling.
Yeah, I like your clown show, Kimo. It's very enjoyable.
Well, I mean, again, this is not about me. It's all about the people, the worldwide audience. Are they aware that globe earthers do not have anything but written down ideas on paper? And that's what they believe is evidence of the observed phenomena, which is mass attracting mass.
Kimo,
It's a
you're a classic
ridiculous
example.
assertion, Kimo.
Kimo, you're a classic example of cant and vanity and defending the indefensible.
I mean,
the gravitational constant is rechecked periodically, and it's always done in a vacuum. In these high-dollar labs that do that,
that's what
it's
I'm
done
talking
every
about.
year or so.
That's what I'm talking about. I like what you're saying.
It's
Again,
done all the time.
I like
done all the
this.
time.
I like this.
It's just they just don't do it. They don't do it on YouTube videos because real scientists don't sit around out here
Coincidence?
arguing with idiots like you.
Blue, is that a coincidence?
And that just tells you that I'm not a real scientist. I just admitted it.
Don't worry though. I've got Hope in BioDuel. Remember the name? He's the guy that said, "Yeah, Kimo, what are you talking about? Of course I can. I've seen it in a college." He went to the college, he couldn't find it. He said, "I've seen it at the university." He went to the university, couldn't find it. And then he said, "I'm going to buy one. I'm going to buy a vacuum. I'm going to buy a cavity. I'm going to get it all done. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you, Kimo, that you're just a flat earther who's a moron who knows nothing." But I'm like, "Well, where are you? Where is it?" And he's like, "Well, I need more time."
I've been talking to him, Kimo, and I think I've just about got him talked out of it.
Well, of course, yeah.
I'm talked out of it. I've got him. I'm talking him out of it, and this, for a very simple reason. It is not our claim. It is your claim. It is not up to us to show you.
I would talk him out of it as well.
You are making a claim, and it is up to you to prove it.
What we want is to come back with his tail. Yes, that's what we want. To him to return like sheep. It's like
no.
Man, I couldn't do it.
We're still waiting on you to do anything, Kimo.
No. We want him to return and say, "I don't see why I should do it for you."
Torsion balance to move. Build a Cavendish experiment. Put it in a vacuum and prove that the balance won't move. That is your claim. You're the one that has to support that. You're the one that has to prove that.
Yeah. We want him to come back like, "Kimo, you have to prove it yourself."
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
we want him to come back with the tail between. Yes. Because I was right. This is what you guys need to recognize, that there is no force of gravity. And if you guys can help him to just avoid wasting time, his life, on things that do not exist, then you'd be helping me also, helping the flat earth.
Let's get real about it. You're afraid to do it, number one, because you know you're wrong.
I'm not afraid. Is that a good sheep voice? If I was is that a good?
I'm certain of that.
Look, he will return one day, maybe when he's grey and old. He's a young man now, and he would have been trying for his entire life to prove. So he might sound like a sheep. He'll be old, like, "Oh, Kimo."
I've made the offer. I've made the offer, Kimo. I mean, I made a legitimate offer. Either you can do it yourself and prove that what you say is true. If you take the air away, the torsion balance won't move. You can do that experiment yourself. You ought to be perfectly capable of it.
Blue.
If you don't want to, I will do it, but not for free.
Blue, don't worry about a thing.
So,
okay?
Agree to pay for the damn thing, and I'll be glad to do it for you.
Every little thing is going to be all right, Blue. Okay? There is no force.
It's already all right, you know?
And you cannot show the observation.
It is all right. I've shown it.
3 little globers. What?
I've proven it, Kimo.
Blue, you can tell yourself that to your blue in the face. What we're looking for is variables, controlled, manipulated. Unless you show cause and effect, you're giving us poetry.
I did.
Now, you've heard the guys, Blue, you've heard the other guys, Lichvink, you've heard Sheeple, you've heard Bio. Everyone talk about a Cavendish except you. Farmer's Boy presented a link in a Cavendish. It's been done. We've never seen it. You're the only person still banging on about outside of a vacuum. We've moved forward.
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
I have given
You're the only idiot who keeps saying it has to be performed in a vacuum.
I was the only idiot enough to say this.
It doesn't have to be performed in a vacuum.
It was a risky move to say it doesn't move in a Cavendish in a vacuum. That was risky. Could be idiotic, because if it turns out it does move.
No, it's already been done, like we keep fucking telling you. You're not asking for something new. It's already been performed in a vacuum chamber.
Prove it.
No, we've done that as well, but you refused to accept it because it's not a YouTube video.
Ah, piece of paper.
And there we are, and we've come full circle.
Piece of paper.
Litchwink has told you, Kimo, Litchwink has told you it's been big news this week that gravity had been tested, millimeter scale, a piece of gold in a vacuum, basically doing a Cavendish experiment in a vacuum. I mean, this is big news this week, and you're just gonna act like it's never been done. No one's shown this.
I was looking at the paper. I read it. I read it. I read the news. I read the news. Oh boy.
Today, oh boy. Yeah, we all know the beat.
Oh boy, Farmer's got that. I read the news today.
Chat right there, from 1930.
Farmer's got that.
Last track of Sergeant Pepper.
Nice one, Farmers. You're the only one that got that. Good. So look, we did read the news today, and
so if you've read the news, Kimo, what new insights are they hoping to come to from this?
So we've read the news that there is a giant over the hills, and we need to inspect this giant coming over the hills. Otherwise, we're not going to believe that, are we? Who believes what they read?
It's a monster.
Yes, again, there's a monster coming over the hill. Yeah. So yeah, there's a monster coming over the hill.
It just shows you how predictable you are, Kimo. Sorry.
And
this is real news. This is real news that you're basically refuting based on nothing and doing so in a dishonest way by saying that this has never happened, never been shown, and obviously people are claiming it's been done. It's recently.
I know. I'm not arguing with those people who claim. I'm saying, provide the observation so we can put this to bed, and obviously, I've got to go.
Price for that.